Mhm. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Affirmations. Please like, share, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I post, okay? I want to thank my subscribers as well as any new subscribers that I have, as well as those of you who are just swinging through, okay? Help me reach 1,000. I'd appreciate it, okay? Let's see. Wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health, okay? And hoping that you had a good week. If it was not a good week, what is one thing that you can do that can help it go better? Give y'all some Palo Santo, okay? One thing that you can do that can help the week go better, okay? And for those of you that are new, we always start off our saying with death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? Always wanting to mind the self talk that we do with ourselves, as well as what we speak, as well as what we speak about others, okay? It's okay to vent, but we want to make sure that we're not being malicious or lying on others, okay? Sometimes that can activate reap what you sow, okay? And for those of you that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma, okay? Let's see. And what we're using is the DBT deck for clients and therapists, 101 mindful practices to manage distress, regulate emotions, and build better relationships, okay? So we'll be pulling from this today, and we're working our way through it. Okay, and in the past, we were using the self therapy card deck, questions and actions and meditation to combat daily stress and heal and for healing. Come on, get it together, lady. All right, so this is one for people that want to do more self work. Okay, all right, and we're always encouraging everyone to uh, definitely think about getting this particular book, Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome: America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing by Dr. Joy DeGury. Okay, very important book. Let me hold it correctly. Very important book. Can we see that? Yeah, that allows us to know kind of how we're still being affected today, right? Yes, and we're starting to see some of that now. Yep. All right. So, with that, what we're going to do is, for those of you that are new, I will put the stones in the bag and I will randomly pick a stone. It'll let us know which deck we're speaking from today, okay? All right. Let's see. What are we going to get? Let's go for this one. This is a big one. This is Imagine. This is gorgeous. Imagine. Can y'all see that? Imagine. I'm playing with this lighting, so forgive me. Imagine. Yeah. And it's interesting that we talk about death and life is in the power of the tongue. What we speak, again, even when we're just thinking things, imagining things, one of the things that people are starting to understand is that sometimes it's something to our thoughts, and again, us accidentally sometimes even creating scenarios and situations and drawing those things to us. So the question is, can you imagine good things for yourself, or are you sitting around imagining a lot of negative, scary things? Again, one of the challenges is I tell people for every negative, there's a positive. So you can find yourself in any situation. And, we ask ourselves, well, what can I learn from this? Even if it's just that, or what's a positive? Sometimes it's something that we don't want, but let's say if it's something that ends, work related or whatever, or something shifts, sometimes it will lead us to on a path where we need to go. Okay. And that's incense in the camera, guys. I'm kind of liking it, so I'm hoping y'all are liking that too. Okay. Yeah, so we got Imagine. So let's see which one is the Imagine deck. That's the hot pink one. We don't have a lot of these. Okay, let's see what we're going to get. What we're going to speak from. And it would be hot pink. I got on some pink today, so okay, we're color coordinating. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So if nothing comes out, I'm going to randomly pick. Okay, so let me just pick this one. Let's go with this one. Okay, it says dealing with distractions. Okay, dealing with distractions. It says distractions are ever present. Don't we know it? Do not get frustrated with distractions, for they are simply reminders to go back to what you are doing. Some of us are more successful than others with that, right? Interesting. It says, don't get frustrated with distractions, for they are simply reminders to go back to what you are doing. And dealing with them is a natural part of practicing mindfulness. Okay. Mindfulness, everyone has been talking about. Mindfulness meaning staying in the present moment. Right now, part of mindfulness is, look at me right now, looking at the incense with the smoke, right? Seeing the lighting, right? Smelling the incense, right? Touching, right? What am I touching this card and what it feels like? Being very present so your mind is not wandering to the past or worrying about the future. So, being mindful. So even though there are distractions, to get to a point where it's almost like whatever you're doing, you're so hyper focused, it's almost like that of a meditation. Okay. It says, when you drift or get distracted, simply bring yourself back to the present moment again and again and again. So don't get frustrated again when you don't stay focused. You just kind of, sometimes people have to kind of take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and just kind of redirect our brain. The more we can not get agitated that there's a distraction, even if we shift our focus a little bit, gently kind of bring yourself back and just remind yourself it's normal for things to go on around me, but I have the power in order to focus on what I'm doing now. Okay, so we have to kind of make those type of statements. It says because distractions are simply a part of the world, right? And a lot of times we would love peace and quiet, but if we can master knowing how to be in any environment and be able to focus in such a way and calm ourselves to where we still can enjoy ourselves in the present moment, whatever we're focusing on, then we've really mastered something, okay? And so put in the comment sections, how do you deal with distractions? Do you find yourself kind of, uh, that can be tricky, in a household full of people and you're neat and quiet and, all these types of things. How do you handle distractions, right? And there's simple distractions and then there are big distractions, right? And sometimes it's not just general distractions. Sometimes people are literally family, friends, people, places, and things are trying to distract you from focusing on what you need to do or want to do or like to do. Because again, one of the things we talk about in healing slave trauma, a lot of behaviors we picked up from slavery, right? And so we always are talking about, are we taking on the role of master requiring everyone to focus on them at all times, right? So if anybody seems distracted and not focusing on master, then that's a problem, right? So what they'll do is, if let's say, and then if again, and sometimes we've participated in taking on the role that of slave, right? So let's say we're enjoying ourselves, we're focusing on something, we really got to get something done. Here comes this master character that sees that and is going to test you and say, okay, what you going to pick? Me or what you're doing? And sometimes the behavior can be that very manipulative, right? A tantrum or someone acting upset because you are trying to focus on what you're doing. So sometimes people are purposely testing you and distracting you to test you to see, are you going to do what it is that you're doing, or are you going to focus on me? Okay, so we have to learn how to set boundaries. And part of that has to do with people feed off our energy, learning how not to feel guilty and to say, okay, well, I'm doing this right now. It's 10 o'clock. I'm going to get with you at 2 and reshift our mind. And if that means some people are so persistent, you might have to get up and remove yourself, but stand your ground. So, and sometimes that's tricky when we've spoiled people and given in and we got this kind of master slave dynamic going on, and also too, even with kids, they can kind of definitely be very demanding, as children are. But a lot of times we've learned how to shift with children, but what about with our peers or mates or friends? Okay. So that's something that we want to think about. Dealing with distractions. Okay. Or do we give in? Okay. Let's see. Okay. So at the end, normally I always will kind of look at some type of a little affirmation These are so cute. I love these little things called the woodland wardens, little animals. So cute. We're going to see which animal card we get today. Let's see. Which animal card are we getting today? Let's see. Let's see. Which animal card are we getting today? Let's see if I'm able to shuffle these. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough space, but we're working it out, y'all. Again, this is not my normal setup, but we're trying something a little different. I will sometimes do this format and then go back to my other format. So just testing this out to see how it goes. Okay. Let's see what we're going to get. Let's see. What is it that we as a people kind of need to be aware of or need to kind of look at or think about? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. There's a long flip. Let's see. Let's get it back in order. Interesting. Let's see what we get. Okay, as you're listening to the shuffling of the cards, yeah, imagine that that's a relaxing sound. Okay, there we go. Interesting. We got intuition. So what is it that we as a people need to be thinking about is intuition. This is very interesting. And the animal is a bat and actually a plant called hellebore. Very interesting. Yes, intuition. Let's see, can we see that? I'm not sure if y'all can see that. Again, I'm still learning my lighting. Let me put this down and let me see. Is this going to show? Yeah, can y'all see that? Yeah, so that's the bat. Let's see what we got. Talking about intuition. This is interesting. They use Roman numerals, so I gotta get creative. Let's see. X, 1X. What we got? Let's see how they got this. Okay, bear with me. They have being fancy using Roman numerals instead of numbers. So let's see. X1X. Where's the X1X? Intuition. Yeah. That's an interesting one. How many of us use our intuition or our gut? And a lot of times our intuition is led by our emotions. And if we are used to kind of stuffing our emotions and ignoring our emotions, then you're not going to be tuned into your intuition. Okay, because it is connected to our emotions. Something goes off emotionally to which then activates us saying, "Uh-oh, what something can't quite put my finger on it," right? And are you a person that follows your intuition, or do you kind of follow the crowd, or are you focused on kind of pleasing others and ignoring, your intuition? And has there been a time when you had intuition about something and you ignored it and it came back to bite you? Huh? That's a question. Okay. Normally I can find these with no problem, but of course, today in front of y'all, it's acting like I don't know. Let's see. Y'all bear with me. Come on, book. Where you at? Come on, X1X. I know that's something. I think X is 10. 1X is something else with a 10. I don't quite know what that is. Anybody tell me in the description? The Roman numeral X, I guess. Is it IX? We know Dr. Google knows, right? We could Google it. Don't we love Google? Is this thing going to show me what it is? Okay, if not, I'm just going to tack off the top of my head. Okay. All right, I'm going to tack off the top of my head. Oh, look, now I found it. It's so funny. Just as I was about to close the book. Okay. It says, Bats are guardians, okay, of the night, representing dreams, visions, and subconscious. Now, this is what's so interesting about how I'm gonna connect this to our people, especially during slavery times and in the past. We normally will have those family members that have dreams and visions. And I know for some people this sounds strange. What's interesting is in the therapy world, okay, if you should go to a psychiatrist, one of the questions they ask you is, are you hearing voices that other people can't hear, seeing things that people can't see? They call that kind of psychosis, okay? But what's interesting is culturally, some people believe that is a spiritual type gift, okay? And one of the things that's so interesting when I was doing my internship in graduate school, where I actually worked at a psych ward, and went around a group of people. They were sitting around, and they had us doing different, going to do different things. But today I actually had to go sit in a group and started talking to the people, introducing myself, asking them, why are you here? And a lot of them talked about how they've been living with, hearing voices all their life, hearing a lot of horrible things, kill yourself, all these kind of things. But yet when you're sitting in front of these people, very calm. And I'm like, you mean to tell me all your life you just constantly hear talking about kill yourself? And I say, so how do you handle that? They say, just ignore it. And so I think our people has always been able to gracefully handle things. And almost everyone I went around to were dealing with really kind of traumatic type mental illness issues, but they gracefully kind of handled themselves. And so when I think about one of the things I started thinking about is I started to wonder, is there a connection? And then sometimes people are actually getting spiritual type messages. So I started to wonder, is there a connection between what we're calling mental illness, where there's a chemical imbalance? I'm wondering, does that chemical imbalance allow people to be exposed to other dimensions, other spiritual dimensions, right? Because we understand we're in the physical dimension, but I'm wondering, does that chemical imbalance allow people to have access, or they're accidentally seeing things because of this chemical imbalance? But again, a lot of our people again survived in slavery based off of intuition, visions, dreams, right? I think about Harriet Tubman. She talked about being hit in the head, and she would get these visions, and she would be given messages, and that's how she was able to help people to escape, right? So some people culturally, this is a thing that's part of their spirituality, but then also too in the therapy world, they would call that mental illness. See, so it's very interesting. So a lot of our people have this. Let's see. It says they show us how to access, our kind of what they say mystical side. This particular flower called hellebore is an unusual flower. It blooms in the winter with downturned sepals. It resembles a cup being poured out, a symbol of emotional candor. Together, the bat and the hellebore tell us to trust our intuition. It says your instincts can be relied upon, right? Curl inward, focus on your emotions, right? And as they kind of doing the symbolism with bats, as bats are blind, they can't see. They actually are doing everything and they can't even see, but they're going off of intuition and radar. It's hearing, right? Trusting its hearing and trusting your own intuition to guide you. So not depending on sight, right? But going off of your gut and your emotions, right? Because sometimes people can present a thing, but something else is going on behind the scenes, okay? So this is interesting. So a question says, how can I learn to trust my gut instincts? Right? Because sometimes you may be speaking your gut instinct out loud, and then people around you say, oh, you're crazy. Oh, that's not it. And they know it's it. So how do you trust your gut instinct? Sometimes it may be keep it to yourself. Right? It says, do I need to analyze a problem, or is the answer more immediate or instinctual? That's interesting. Okay, that was interesting, y'all. Took a while, but that was a good one. Okay, so again, I want you all to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me, and also to check out the community tab. I am posting things weekly in them, on the community tab. Okay, and I always end with, uh, Everyone has a right to heal from trauma with privacy, okay, without the interference of others' opinions, without harassment, okay, even a race, nation. And until next time, bye.